Reid Marnie, he certainly brought the aggression to the fore for the Bulldogs, involved in everything. Every time there was a little moment of flare-up in 2024, Reid was always thereabouts. We're underway with Matt Burton supplying the kickoff here. A deep one goes all the way down to Ben Hunt. And Patrick Carrigan playing in the front row here in his first hit out for 2025. Fascinating to see that change in the rotation with Kobe Hetherington wearing the lock forwards jersey of number 13. Here he is, taking a carry and bringing it back almost to the 30. From dummy half, Corey Bates was terrific last week in that big win against the Titans, 50 points to 12, if you don't mind. Pakes again across the advantage line, taking Carrigan with him. Second carry in this opening set, and good meters on a pristine playing surface for Adam Reynolds to put the kick in. Pressure here looking up towards the sun. Marcelo Montoya also back in Bulldogs colours. Began his career in the NRL there before moving to the Warriors, and now Sherry takes it outside the 20. From Burton. There is Montoya again. He's a yardage specialist. That was his real forte in his time with the Warriors. Now Max King. Plenty of line speed here from the Brisbane Broncos. Limited meters for Canterbury. He comes back to Kurt Mann, who missed the end of the season with a collarbone injury last year. It was an untimely one for the Bulldogs because Kurt Mann, with the way they used their rotation and the ball through the middle of the field, he was a key component. As they get the penalty, let's go downstairs to Jake Duke.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. An absolute cracker here in Queensland for a sold-out doubleheader. 28 degrees at the moment with a strong breeze that'll favour the Broncos here in the first half. Now, both of these teams are close to full strength, close to what we will see run out in round one in a couple of weeks' time. But there was some injury concern for the Bulldogs in the warm-up. Jamin Salmon pulled up lame with some back spasms. He won't play today, but the Dogs say it's just purely precautionary.
Okay, so a blow there for the Bulldogs, but plenty of players on the bench in the pre-season. From Marnie, comes across to Kurt Mann. Off the left foot, putting some pressure there on Reece Walsh, up in the front line, defensively inside their 20. Options either side. It goes to Sexton, now kick out. Back against the grain, running towards Haas. Pakes was also there. We've got 2 plays remaining. It's Mann taking it to the line. Sam Hughes coming with him under pressure there. Good tackle made eventually by Gajewski. And now Sexton rubbering, pushing through. Sherry was there. He pretty much overran the ball. He was at such speed.
There was an opportunity there for Cherry coming through off the Sexton kick, but I like what Kurt Mann is doing for the Bulldogs. He becomes that middle forward who's the connection between the halves. Reece Walsh deals with it there, but the way the Dogs scored points last year, it was very lateral, not the power game, but moving the ball around.
Again, the goal line dropout comes down here to Jacob Preston. They'll begin just inside the 30. Love what Jacob Preston brings to the table for the Bulldogs. His rugby 24 season, though, in a broken jaw early on, ankle problem in the second half of the year, as Marnie comes across to Mann again. An angled run back in towards the middle, trying to suck in defenders. Marnie comes to Connor Tracy. Crichton was there, behind a decoy. He paused for a moment. Play on is the call as Hughes walks it forward. From underneath the posts. Wide ball from dummy half. Sexton wider still to Bronson Sherry. Puts a step on. Good tackle there, though, made by Katoni Staggs. Here's the last for the Dogs. Comes back to Sexton, who goes across the face of the uprights. Crichton the target. Taps it backwards. Still there for Preston. Play on the last. Tracy, a grubber, recovering well. The Broncos have come up with it through Jesse Arthars.
Yeah, great defensive work there from the Brisbane Broncos. The rushing line on the right side of Katoni Staggs really shutting down Bronson Cherry, and then the defensive on the kick. Not too many players committed, able to stay on their feet and then shut the play down.
Now Payne Haas. 25 short of the halfway line when he plays it there. Carrigan. I wonder if this is a permanent move. Certainly appears that he's going to start the season there. in the front row alongside Arthars. Reynolds kicks from inside the 40. Didn't quite have the angle as Tracy cleans it up. Bright sunny conditions, absolutely perfect. Pretty warm, as you would expect in this part of the world. Montoya playing it, and Burton comes across for Blake Wilson. Interrupted season for him in 2024. He suffered pneumonia in the first couple of months of the season. Cost him his spot in the top grade. Had to come back through New South Wales Cup. Marnie now for Preston. And he takes it back towards the halfway line. So 4 plays gone in their set. Slowish play the ball. King very flat there at the advantage line, but got going quickly. With one more, Marnie looking out of this right-hand side. Sexton, the former Titan, puts it in the air. Walsh standing underneath it. Arthars trying to shield the oncoming defenders for him. He makes a good catch, Reece Walsh. And they begin here from their own 10 through Jesse Arthars.
Just look at the Broncos' spine. When it comes to the yardage game, the power of their back three and their forwards, the kicking game of Adam Reynolds, Ben Hunt, include Reece Walsh in that. The ability to kick 40-20s and get the ball down the other end of the field is going to be a real highlight for this team in 2025.
Outside backs combining nicely here to work it away for the Broncos, and the carry of Staggs. It was a legs tackle and they slowed things down artificially, said Todd Smith, the referee. It'll be the Broncos to kick for line here and have the first real attacking chance that they've had so far in the opening 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to see how this halves combination of the two 34-year-olds are going to manage Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt, traditional first receivers. Let's see who plays a major role. Ben Hunt probably 2 passes wide.
Broncos missed the finals, as we know, in 2024. The Bulldogs qualified for the first time in a long time. Nothing to go down in week 1, an upset, and the Seagulls took them down 24-22. As Carrigan one-on-one there. Tackle made by Preston. Quick play, the ball. Pakes, he has help. Hetherington almost reaches out to plant it down. 3 tackles gone. From Pakes to Reynolds. Haas off his hip. Runs towards Hughes. Marnie is there, and so is Kurt Mann. Pakes wants to keep it going to the right. Reynolds cuts back to the left, though. Hunt, rubbering. A chance for Jesse Arthars. Oh, he got there. Did he plant it down cleanly, though? The referee says yes, but the bunker will take a look.
And that's the Broncos' attacking system in full flight there. It's Ben Hunt on the left-hand side, Reece Walsh out on the far right, and Adam Reynolds, the key indicator, switching both sides of the field. And when you get time and space for Ben Hunt, he's knocked that on. But you like to see that Ben Hunt has the ability with time and space. Normally he's the one first receiver with making all the decisions, but this time here, it's 2 passes wide. Had the opportunity to get that kick through. Jesse Arthars drops the chocolates.
Yeah, it looked that way watching it live, and you saw his reaction as well. He dropped his head knowing he didn't quite get the timing right. The ball just beating him to the turf, bouncing, and no way he got that down. Lovely kick, though, and a nice combination between Reynolds and Hunt. And you would expect here Todd Smith will blow the whistle and say, boys, the Bunkers just taking a further look at that. And it might be just a very quick look. Dare say they've already made their minds up. Look around these days in the bunker. Well, that was all happening. We were watching replays. So were they. See it again. Yes, bounces up, hits him on the wrist, or thereabouts.
Jesse Arthar knocks the ball on when attempting to ground the ball. Decision made.
Confirming what he knew, Jesse Arthars, and I think most of the fans, KO Stadium, realised as well, having seen the replay.
And the Broncos attack was just using 3 big middle forwards, generate some ruck speed, and then Adam Reynolds picking which side he wanted to swing, always knowing that he could go to Reece Walsh or Ben Hunt at some stage.
So a scare for the Bulldogs early on. They survive. Hughes being manhandled back here. Impressive line speed early from Brisbane as Marnie comes very wide out to King. But they're up again. Hunt was there, so was Hetherington, and also Carrigan. Man brings Preston with him. One-on-one tackle there. taken down by Jack Kaszewski. Had that mid-season switch from the Cowboys to the Broncos in 2024, did the edge forward. They're back at the halfway line, the Bulldogs. It's Hughes, rather King pops it out the back. There is Hughes, Burton, kick out. Sherry trying to keep it going as well. Out to Marcelo Montoya. Catch and pass situation, couldn't manage it. And the Broncos have it here in decent field position to begin with.
And this is the balance of Viliami kick out. Most destructive back row we have in our game. His ability to create momentum, line break himself, but also set up his outside men. That time he went for the pass, but you'd just like to see Viliami sometimes bang off that left foot, terrorise into smaller defenders and create a bit of a quick play ball for the next one, but geez, when he gets it right, he's intimidating.
Both these teams have a chance to be the pre-season challenge champions in 2025. They both won last week. The Bulldogs took down the Tigers 20 points to 14, but left some bonus points on the table. It was a clean sweep for the Broncos. They got all 15, and if they win here and grab 15 points, nobody can usurp them. Now, Shibasaki, a set restart. The sun beaming down in the late afternoon. This right-hand side, Jordan Ricky. His test debut for New Zealand in the Pacific Cup last year. And now Carrigan. He's doing there up very quickly were both Hughes and also Marnie. Now Haas. Bodies in front of him as well. The contact has been good from both defensive outfits to begin this game. Pakes. And now Hetherington, a little show. Carrigan pushing up. Didn't know where it had gone. Hetherington still had it tucked up his jumper. Last play in front of the uprights. From Pakes to Reynolds. Another good kick. A chance. It just won't sit up though for Staggs. Gave a bit of a shove there to Connor Tracy, who cannoned into the advertising signs, and it will be 7 tackles from the 20.
He normally gets that right, Adam Reynolds, but it ricocheted off the turf and just took off and went 7 tackle set. Now this gives the opportunity for the Dogs. They're going to have a couple of one-out runs, but then look for them to shift the ball and try and get the ball into their centre's hands.
Always a fairly firm surface here at KO. The ball does bounce on. We saw that just then. As Crichton plays it, comes from Marty across to Mann, doing the ball playing in the 13 roll right here. Kick out again, trying to get to Adam Reynolds. The bodyguard there and Jordan Ricky, and now Burton takes them on. Reynolds, one-on-one there, did well. That's Sexton. Into the backfield, almost there. Hetherington makes a good tackle along with Corey Pakes. Last for the Bulldogs. They picked up some good meters in this 7 tackle set. Kick out, taking some stopping, looking for somebody back on the inside. It hit the deck and Reynolds has it for Brisbane.
Well, they didn't score the points, but that is very effective set there from the Dogs. It was Viliami kick out with the carry, then Matt Burton ran, then Sexton ran, and they almost set something up here through kick out, and he got the balance right in that set. Just one pass short of setting up a try.
Here is Hunt on this left-hand side, a show of the ball that wrapped up in a 3-man tackle. Still no score, not quite 12 gone at KO Stadium. First of a double-header. The big game to follow this one, the Cowboys and the Titans in front of a sold-out crowd. Great response. Seeing some pre-season action in this part of the world. Bringing it back here, Tracy weaving. He's always been a speedster. Had such terrible luck with ACL injuries in the early part of his career at both the Rabbitohs and also the Sharks. Now Wilson. Played for Sexton. Crichton is there.
Ben, you've got a hold!
A warning on the run there from the referee Todd Smith for the Broncos. Somebody going very close to being in front of him, if not quite getting offside, as Hughes will play it just outside the 30. Marnie feeds it for Mann. Comes out the back to Sexton. He held it up, tackle around the shoulders, and no more from Gaszewski. One more now for Canterbury as Burton will kick it back to this near side. Standing underneath it, Arthars was waiting for it. Got to Shibasaki, who made the catch instead. And the Broncos hang on once again.
Yeah, the Broncos are lacking line speed in the last couple of minutes. That time, Matt Burton had all the time in the world to kick the football, and some of the forwards, the Brisbane Broncos, aren't getting off the line defensively, whereas the Bulldogs are in this set right now.
A change has been made here by the Broncos. There already, Dean Mariner due to be in the starting side. See the tackle here, third one. Ooh, right there, King got him flush on the chin with a bit of a swinging arm. And as the third man in, he had plenty of time to adjust, didn't, and he may have an issue beyond this game. Placed on report for the moment. It stays 13 on 13. Of course, that can change now with the HIA situation. Players going to the sin bin retrospectively.
Okay, Preston, unconditional.
Hetherington plays it for Pakes. Here's Reynolds, pass up against Marnie, and also Mann picked out two of the smaller forwards in the Bulldogs pack. Carrigan tipping it out the back, or Hunt had options there all around him. Passing to be a good one. An early mistake made by the 34-year-old veteran.
Just a little bit clunky, that combination. Patrick Carrigan stepping up, passing the ball to Ben. He was running overs. He was about to link up with Reece Walsh, and I really like the mix-up there between Ben Hunt and Reece Walsh. Because once you get Reece Walsh, he is the most dangerous player in our competition with time and space, with his acceleration footwork. You create space for Reece Walsh, he'll do the damage.
I know you don't know the answer, and I certainly don't have it. Have we ever had an older halves pairing, two 34-year-olds side by side? I can't think of one.
Let me ask the stats department.
A little bit of something to do while we're waiting for a score here in this first half. Mariner penalised there. Playing at right centre, it's Tony Staggs who's missing suddenly for the Brisbane Broncos. We'll try and bring you news as to what's happened there through Jake Duke, but Dean Mariner out there for Tony Staggs. Here is Max King. Takes it down within 40 on the Broncos line. There is Staggs making the long walk around to the tunnel. Kurt Mann hands it off to Hughes. Good meters there. Beyond contact. And now Sexton comes back on the inside for Jacob Preston. So they're back inside the 20. 2 plays remaining in this particular set. Marnie goes wide again from dummy half. Mann, Sexton, Burton keeps it going quickly. Montoya, there was a touch there maybe from Mariner. Burton appealing for a restarted set. He won't get one, and this will be the last. Bronson Seri says, who wants it? Sexton's at first receiver, puts in a pretty good kick. A chance for Crichton, he mistimed it. Bounces for Wilson, puts a step on, but Arthars is there to wrap him up with some help from Shibasaki.
Yeah, I thought there was a touch when the Bulldogs threw the ball out to far left-hand side. Matt Burton then goes back to the right of the kick. And the target for the Dogs on the last play is always going to be Stephen Crichton, and kicking to the right-hand side. He's got the ability to jump above most other players in the competition.
Payne Haas. Almost back at the 30 here. There's Filiame Kickow on the ground. What a meeting of bodies there between Haas and Kickow, isn't it? And Reynolds, a ball out the back that he wasn't expecting. Takes him out of the play here in the second last play. So Walsh will kick early. Bit of a wobbly one, but it wasn't well inside the 40. Boy, he had a real drive on that. It just kept rubbing across the ground and comfortably went across the line inside the 20. Almost a 30-20.
That is such a good kick. It was Adam Reynolds in a very slow play of the ball, and he absolutely rockets this one, Reece Walsh. He knows it too. And pumped up.
That's a bonus chance here for Brisbane. Gives them this opportunity, does Reece Walsh. We'll see if he has a hand to play Should they grab their first points? Pakes searching across the field. Comes to Corey Jensen, who will play just a metre short here. And now Pakes back to Reynolds. Inside here for Ricky. Man was there to stop him. Marnie was around the legs. Here's Carrigan again. Short ball there. Called forward, put down anyway. Jensen couldn't hang on to it. And now a counter-attack from the Broncos on their own line. Sherry tracked down there by Dean Mariner.
Yeah, great work from the Dogs too. Good defensive resolve in their line and the ability and the confidence to shift the ball on tackle one all the way out to the left-hand side gave them the yardage.
Some confidence there to work it right across to that far left-hand side once the ball had gone down from the Broncos. Now Sexton again taking them on slowly up to meet him. So he said, I'll take the 10 metres available here. Marnie finds King. Snapping tackle there. Hetherington, always such good technique. Really hurt King as well. Might be feeling the effects of that. Sexton back on the inside here for kick out. They persist with that angled run, turning him back underneath towards the middle of the field as Marnie finds Burden. End over end kick. Tough one here for the Broncos to handle. They let it bounce. It's still there for Montoya until Walsh wins the race. It was like a flag contest down at the beach.
Yeah, 20 minutes in and most of these players, it's their first game for the year. Hot conditions and just a couple of moments where they're looking for take some oxygen in. A couple of loose plays.
Walsh the ball out the back after he was under pressure. Selwyn Cobbo back on the wing in 2025. Mixed season for him, but you could say that last year about plenty of the Broncos. Was there a roll ball there? A couple of them so far this weekend in round 3 of the pre-season challenge. He had a knee still on the ground and just stepped over the ball. I guess that's double jeopardy.
The coaches would not be happy with their players doing a roll ball. I know it's an alteration to a rule and just more focus on it, but they would have practiced this for hours during the pre-season. You can't get those little things wrong.
It's Preston takes it deep on the attack here for the Bulldogs. We've had just over 20 minutes of action. No drinks break at the halfway mark on a warm Redcliffe afternoon. Man for Sexton. Burton. Here's Montoya to the outside there of Cobbo. Bounced off his chest. Wrapped up by Reynolds and also Mariner. Set restart though. Bonus tackles here for Sexton to take them on and puts it down early in the set. Oh, that's a killer.
I like the idea that Sexton's got a running mindset. He's run the ball more than passed the ball this afternoon. And here he is taking the line on. Just good contact.
He's been keen to take the line on. Can't fault him for that. That one just coming free.
The Dogs look dangerous going to the left-hand side. It's that Kickow and Matt Burton combination. Just a couple little short passes, trying to get Kickow one-on-one with Adam Reynolds. Might set up the ball playing a bit later on in this game.
The flags in the background there. The Leagues Club end of KO Stadium. Very certainly favouring the Broncos in this first half, and that was borne out by the kick by Walsh for the 40-20. Jordan Ricky brings it back within 10 of the halfway line. Warren Smith, Cooper Cronk, Jake Duke, bringing you the first of 2 games in this venue tonight. Live on Fox League. Great to have you with us as Carrigan plays it. Pakes. Slow ball there for Hunt. Now Walsh. Short passing. Out here Shibasaki. Wrapped up there pretty comfortably. Wilson jamming in. Sexton was also there. From Arthars. It's Hunt who puts the ball in the air. Pressure here on Tracy. Walsh might have been taken out of it by Crichton. It won't matter because it comes free. Reynolds grabs the crumbs and plants it down for the Broncos to score their first.
There was going to be a penalty, I think, for the Broncos anyway, but put this down to the desperation and the desire of Reece Walsh chasing through, being a threat to catch this ball, puts Connor Tracy under pressure and misjudges the jump, and Adam Reynolds follows through. The combination here of the spine, Ben Hunt with the kick, Reece Walsh with the pressure and the chase. The try scoring there from Adam Reynolds.
If anything, maybe the effort there of Crichton to take Walsh off the play might have put Tracy off. And he put it down, and Reynolds, he was trailing through on his left-hand side of the field with Hunt putting the kick up. And in his 4th season now, it's hard to believe this is season number 4 in Brisbane colours for Adam Reynolds. It's gone by in the blink of an eye, it feels. They've got their fingers crossed, everything crossed up there. He can get through the season without injury in 2025. And that ruptured biceps, second half of the season last year. First half of the year had the knee injury, hamstring problems as well. Got a few miles on the clock, so some soft tissue injuries to be expected. The ruptured biceps, that really cruelled the Broncos' chances of perhaps being part of the finals.
Yeah, 13 games, 13 try assists, and when you look through this list here of the Brisbane Broncos, they have got strike and talent 1 to 17. And the key part of that, like what happened in 2023, went within a whisker. If Adam Reynolds can be the glue that brings that all together again with Michael Maguire, could be a good year for the Bronx.
Terrific kick, might not have been his best ever strike, but using the breeze nicely there. They lead the Bulldogs here 6 points to 0. Watch it again, the kick from Hunt, carried by the breeze. Crichton taking down Walsh, but it didn't matter because Tracy put it down and Reynolds swooped to make it 6 points to 0. We're going to Vegas, of course, to kick off the season right here on Fox League. Vegas shows from Thursday with NRL 360 and Matty Johns kick things off at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time respectively before all the action on Sunday with all 4 games. Get the couch nice and comfy, the coffee on. Big day. Amazing day of rugby league to begin the season proper. Preston there jamming into the back. Oh, down on the legs of Jack Gashevsky. He's okay though. Now Corey Jensen, who was a rock in the front row for the Broncos last year as Paix jumps out from dummy half. What a job he's done last week and again here today, putting up his hand for that number 9 jersey to begin the season for Michael Maguire. Massive set here for the Broncos. Off the back of points. Hunt chips one. Tracy under pressure once again. Got to catch it on the run to avoid the contact. That's a great set from Brisbane. 99
metres that set, and when they generate ruck speed, they've got some very talented players that take advantage of markers retreating. Great work there from Corey Paix. Then Reece Walsh went to tackle after that as well. So once there's that quick ruck, all the Brisbane Broncos are flooding through the middle. That's a style of Michael Maguire throughout his coaching career.
Jack Gashevsky placed on report here. Blake Wilson, Travis Toomer, Bulldogs trainer. A quick check of him. He looks to be okay. In the meantime, let's go downstairs to you, Jake.
Injury concern for the Brisbane Broncos, guys. We saw Tony Staggs leave the field about 10 minutes ago. His afternoon is over. He's had some injury issues around his calf and hamstring in the pre-season. The Broncos not confirming particularly what's troubling him most today, but precautionary. They have ruled him out of this one.
Yeah, no chance taking any risks with any of their stars here today, but a concern all the same. And if it is potentially a calf or a hamstring, then quite obviously some real doubt about Tony Staggs being available for round 1.
Yeah, but it's one area where the Broncos do have some depth. You know, Mariner comes in for Tony Staggs, and he's had some flashes of brilliance in the early stages of his career.
A transition from the wing to the centres last year did Dean Mariner, and find the line, especially playing on the wing. He was dynamic, scoring tries for fun, 14 of them in 13 games on the wing last year for the Broncos. Now Sexton, Preston at the line, stopped there by Shibasaki. 40 metres out, play 5 here, comes to man, then Bird in the show. Reynolds almost fell for the dummy. Closing the door to help him out was Jordan Ricky. Sexton kicking back towards Crichton. They won't get there to make a contest of it, and Arthars makes a clean catch inside his own 10.
And we just saw snippets of the Dogs' attack. Once they get play the ball, they shift the ball back to the other side. Burton running. Again, their kicking game just let them down the last play. That had to be a competition and give the advantage to the Bulldogs' outside men going up for it.
Hunt will shift here. Arthars under pressure, nothing doing. Hemmed in by the sideline. And also the defence there. Oh, the Bulldog, Jonathan Sewer out there now, the 20-year-old. And a switch with Blake Wilson coming from the field. Off the back of that situation where Gashevsky was placed on report. Take a look at Wilson, a free change there for the Bulldogs. As Reynolds kicks from inside the 40, Montoya did well. Backing towards the sideline, made a catch on the full and brings it back to player 20 in from that left touchline. Sherry. Oh, strips very big and fit again in 2025. 4 seasons out of the NRL, as we know, to return last year with the Bulldogs. Once he got his chance in round 6, there was a fixture on that left-hand side. Strong tackle here, brought down okay Hetherington. There's a Harry Hayes who he took to the turf heavily. Fresh man on the field for the Bulldogs getting his opening touch. Now Sexton with a kick once again. They're peppering Jesse Arthars. He flies above everybody. The Bulldogs content just to make the tackle without contesting the ball. As the Broncos work it away through Shibasaki and Bailey Hayward also out there as the change is being rung up here by Cameron Serralda.
There's actually great discipline from the outside players of the Dogs. Sometimes they go take the legs out of the attacking player, they tackle them in the air. They waited to the outside men fell down and then landed on. Good decision.
Hutt walks back on the inside. Gashevsky was there. Brighton waiting on him though. Hutt from outside the 40. Carried by the breeze once again. Tracy adjusts well. Brings it back in those big low boots. Spins away from one tackle. Montoya put under pressure though. It went backwards, fortunately for the Bulldogs. And Burton was there to save their blushes. Oh, now a whistle. And this again was an incorrect play the ball. Burton looking up at the big screen, looking for a replay. Just stepped over it, didn't really make a genuine attempt.
Selwyn Cobbo did one in the early exchanges, and now Matt Burton's done one there. Shakes his head. Let's see if the Brisbane Broncos haven't seen Reece Walsh really flash out the back of shape as yet. Let's see if they can get him involved.
Taupau, the previous carry. Hetherington now following suit. Pakes comes through the hands of Jock Madden. Walshaw tipping it on, jamming in. A collision there with Jonathan Sewer and a whistle. Walsh is okay for a moment. I had visions of what happened. Joseph Swali'i and Reece Walsh in Origin last year in game 1.
Well, Jonathan Sewer just took the handbrake off and went for Reece Walsh. I reckon Ben Hunt might be throwing the ball over the top and trying to hit the winger if he comes back this side.
Well, will attempt to make a tackle there by Sewer. The penalty, and the Broncos have it. Jensen from underneath the uprights. Taupau, who was an offloading machine last week in that 50 points for 12 win against the Titans at Toowoomba. From Hunt, comes through Madden, and now Mariner taking a lot of stopping. He gets into the in goal and then repelled only just. Desperate tackle made there by Matt Burton to save a try. Here's Hunt again. Comes back there. And he's working forward towards the 10. Madden turning it underneath for Jensen, and a set restart as you heard the siren sound. Ricky taken down by Hayward. And the pressure remains here on the Bulldogs' defence. Jensen again runs towards Marnie. Kick out alongside him. They brought it back with options left and right. Pakes finds Hunt. Walsh was out the back. Gashevsky was the first man option. Good tackle made by Sexton. Here's Walsh, grubbering for himself. Bumped off Reed Marnie. Tracy was there to ground it. And they've got themselves a goal line dropout.
Yeah, starting to take over control here is Ben Hunt, because Corey Pakes has gone to halfback. Adam Reynolds off the field. This is Mariner, goes so close. No Katoni Staggs. Wow, he went very close there. And Dean Mariner. But no Adam Reynolds. Reece Walsh steps up and gets the ball back for his team.
Burton will loft one out towards the sideline. Will hang there in the breeze. Awful attempt made by the Broncos to clean it up. A real miscommunication, but coming through, Sewer has knocked it on for the Bulldogs, so the Broncos will get a do-over right here. Might have picked up an injury, Jonathan Sewer.
Yeah, you're right. I think that is miscommunication there for the Broncos. There's no way the back row, Jajewski, should be the one going up for that. Jesse Arthars was there, and then Sewer just came through and knocked it on.
I saw Arthars was quite hesitant, didn't get anywhere near the ball. Sewer, see how he is in the next couple of sets here. For the moment, the Broncos from the 20. Madden underneath, out there for Adam Reynolds. I imagine that was a planned switch with the veteran playing the first half an hour or so. Pakes, Taupau towards the line. There's Moran out there now for the Bulldogs as well. As Pakes finds Madden. Hunt was right there with him. Here's Walsh at speed. Well, the blistering speed of Reece Walsh sets it up for a try for Jesse Arthars. Absolutely brilliant play from the Broncos on this left-hand side, and the superstar fullback supplies another try assist.
Well, Jonathan Sewer a couple of moments ago refused to allow space for Reece Walsh. This time, on his own try line, he starts backing off, and Reece Walsh hits the accelerator, gets on the outside of Crichton, gets Sewer interested, and sets up Arthars for an athletic finish. But how many times have we seen Reece Walsh in this position absolutely bamboozled the defence with his speed and acceleration, puts them in two minds, and he strikes.
When he gets that chance on the sweep like that, Crichton was in trouble inside him, coming across desperately trying to get to Arthars as Sewer jammed in. But it was something to watch, wasn't it? And they rose to their feet in the stands here at KO Stadium. Plenty of Dolphins fans here waiting for their clash against the Cowboys. You can't help but appreciate seeing Reece Walsh do what he does as well as anybody in the competition. Dynamic.
Yeah, very good. Outstanding. Jesse Arthars was great for the Māori side in the All-Star games the other night. And when you start blending this team together, all the ingredients are there for the Broncos in 2025. It's up to the individual to bring their best performance, and a couple of signs here that says Reece Walsh is in for a big year. Adam Reynolds, Ben Hunt, they all look like they're dialed in.
The goal kicking as well here, Walsh with Reynolds off the field. I mentioned that collision in Origin last year. The concussion there. He had the facial fracture earlier on in the season. That situation at Penrith. Wild kick here, trying to use the breeze. Didn't work, and then his season finished with a fractured wrist and hand problem that needed surgery. And all of that just took what he brings to the table away from the Broncos for a good portion of 2024.
And this is the lead-up play that happened for the try. This is where Jonathan Sewer come flying out and put pressure on Reece Walsh. Forced the ball to hit the deck, and this time he doesn't decide to come. He sits back, and that's when Reece Walsh hits the accelerator and goes past and sets up that try. So good play there from Reece Walsh, but Jonathan Sewer might be told to do not let Reece run again.
So you want Sewer jamming in every chance he gets?
No, I don't, because then Ben Hunt might throw the ball over the top. That's up for Cameron Ciraldo to work out.
And that's what Reece Walsh does to the defence
Yeah.
of opposition teams, doesn't he? You've got to make a decision.
Well, rule number one is when you do come out of the line like that, you've got to stop the football. That's exactly what the coach will be wanting to do.
And a lot of pressure on the youngster at 20 years of age. Got a taste the big time last week. One of those backing up here again at KO Stadium in the third week of the pre-season challenge. This first half is raced by. 4.5 minutes only remaining. The ball's been in play for long periods. Oh, now Gashevsky touching at a lower leg or ankle off the back of that carry. Hunt using this breach has got to be worth a few points. See what the Bulldogs can do with it in the second half as Tracy brings it back, bounces away from Madden. And Gashevsky very proper as he takes his place on the left-hand side defensively. Sewer in for a carry. Here is Montoya following suit. Now tracking him infield. Madden was there. Haywood looking out for things now from dummy half for Reed Marnie. Now they're back at the halfway line. Chance back end of this set to put up an attacking kick. They've been content though for the most part to let Jesse Arthars, who's been the target, make the catches. This time though they go across to Burton, who strikes at a torpedo. Real pressure here on Walsh. He says, I want nothing to do with that. It bounced off Jacob Preston. It was a great strike by Burton, but in the end the Broncos back away and the Bulldogs can't clean it up.
That moves about 30 metres to the right with this wind. He went for the torpedo, didn't get it off the boot, and the wind just took it sideways.
Not going to say it's uncatchable, but you take a huge risk in trying to catch it, don't you?
Love it when Matt Burton gets a ball in fifth play, particularly the home ground, and the crowd just ready to see this rocket take off into space.
It was a real weapon of his, Matt Burton, as the Broncos come to their kick now. It's Walsh who puts it up. End over end here. This will be too big, way too big. Goes into about row 7. Didn't quite get that one right. He can wear his heart on his sleeve at times and get a little bit emotional out there, Reece Walsh, admonishes himself for that kick. Back to Matt Burton. The spiral was a real weapon of his earlier in his career, but he's gone away from it in his time with the Bulldogs, going for the more end-over-end kick, which he can control a bit better.
Yeah, I think in the early stages of the game, you've got to probably go to high percentage kick, but when you get some confidence at different stages, the back end of halves, yeah, back your skill.
Get a chance here just before the break. Off the back of the mistake from Walsh. Haywood comes across to Sexton, showing it. Back up there in the middle of the field. Corey Pakes staying with him. Burton puts it down. And a little set play in motion. Tracy was out the back. Kickow was running a line for him. And the 5/8 drops it as cold as you'll see. And off the back of that, they give away a penalty for holding down. That'll give the Broncos here a chance to pick up some good metres with this kick for line and have the last say before Oranges. Reynolds back on the bench, Carrigan and Haas with him as well. Now Jordan Ricky. Let's see, Adam Reynolds gets a chance in the second half.
I'd say.
Saw enough from them. Jock Madden saw plenty of game time last week against the Titans. He's out there at the moment with Ben Hunt. We'll wait and see how long Hunt plays for. Don't expect that he plays the entire 40, and he's going to do that. Let's see how much game time he gets in the second half, if any. Here's a chance. Madden goes straight through. Mariner was there. Taupau gets it instead. He'll win the race for the line. A try on the stroke of half-time. Extends the lead for the Broncos. It's a handy one now at 14 points to 0.
Great work from Jock Madden. He doesn't have the silky moves of someone like Reece Walsh, but he's got the courage. Once he sees a little bit of space open up in front of him, he doesn't look to become a distributor. He just hits the accelerator and goes between Matt Burton and Viliami Kickout. Now, the Dogs were such a very good defensive team last year, third best in the competition. This is a poor system breakdown and missed tackles. Cameron Sorrello will not be happy with that on the stroke of half-time, but focus on Madden. That's a great effort.
Yeah, it was Matt Burton who was heading out. He thought the ball was going out the back from Ben Hunt. Madden, with the halves combining on that right-hand side, just stepped off the right foot, beat Burton cold on the inside shoulder after it was Burton who put down the ball at the other end to give the Broncos that chance. The penalty off the back of it gave them field position, and they bank 4 more points. It might be 6 if they can convert here, and we'll see how they go turning back into the breeze in this second half. But they've been very impressive in this opening 40. And it's Reece Walsh to continue on with the goal kicking. Wild flail at the ball with his first conversion attempt from the other sideline. Breeze to help him here as a left footer. He can bend it back. It will stay out to the left hand side though. Swings away, so a couple of misses by Reece Walsh. But he supplied one of the moments, if not the moments, of the game to this point, of his setup of Jesse Arthars for the second try for the Broncos. At halftime here at KO Stadium in the first of 2 games on Fox League, it's the Broncos who lead the Bulldogs 14 points to 0. And a bit of ice there on the knee for Reece Walsh, which caught our attention while he was looking around the ground there. Nothing more than a precaution, I am sure. So we're back underway. Fair collision to get things going in this second half, as well as Moran brought it out. Montoya here. And they're up in his face, drive him back well inside the 20. Haywood, who took over after half an hour from Reid Marnie in the dummy half roll. And they're under pressure here to work it away without incident from their own end. Warren Smith, Cooper Cronk, Jake Duke on the sideline. Bringing you the first of the 2 games. The Dolphins up against the Titans. That's next after full time. Connor Tracy here. Back towards Brendan Piacure, who's out there now to begin this second half. Kick down that right-hand side from Toby Sexton. Comes down and taken here. The Broncos will bring it back. And the young superstar from Redcliffe is out there now as well. Latrell Seagwalk, 23-year-old from Wagga Wagga to Redcliffe after being spied in the Koori knockout by Ben Teo. And he's followed Teo from Redcliffe down to the Brisbane Broncos in 2025. Taupau brings it back to the halfway line. Billy Walters, after Corey Pakes was again very good in that opening 40 minutes. He can do no more than what he's done to put his hand up for that starting role for round 1 for the Broncos. As the kick here from Madden will go down to Montoya, coming through. Good tackle made by Cobbo, got the timing right there. Jaden Hunt is also out there in jersey 26 of Michael Maguire. Certainly rung the changes here at half-time. Reece Walsh, though, animated as ever on the bench.
Yeah, you said the changes are plenty. Billy Walters come in to play dummy half. And then Josh Rogers is also on the field. He's playing in the halves on the far left-hand side for the Broncos.
Here's Sexton from inside the 40, trying to do what Walsh did and provide a 40-20. Seagwalt to bring it back towards Haywood. He's a likely replacement for Reece Walsh. Should they have issues again with Reece Walsh and injuries in 2025? His favourite position is fullback, but he can play pretty much anywhere in the back line, as he did. And he was part of that Redcliffe team that made it all the way to the grand final, only to be beaten in the Queensland Cup decider by North Devils.
Scored a try and had 2 line break assists in the win last week over the Titans as well.
And it's Taupau who gets the legs pumping. Veteran now at 35 years of age, oldest man in the lineup for the Broncos. Madden's kick under some pressure, blocked it in the air, so Montoya waits a long time. Hunt was coming down, looking to put a real shot on, couldn't get him. As they take it from their 20, loose ball here and mix up there. Sherry did well not to knock it on. Tracy has it, and we go downstairs to Jake Duke.
Just chasing up a few injuries from half-time. We saw Reece Walsh with the ice on his leg there. The Broncos say no problems with him. He was always coming off at half-time. We also saw Tony Staggs pick up an injury in the first half. The Broncos now tell me that's a quad issue, just a little bit of tightness and precautionary as well. Their coach, Michael Maguire, really happy at half-time, said his team looks hungry but calm and playing for each other. Cameron Serraldo, the exact opposite, said it's just a trial, but we're not playing Bulldogs football at all.
A little bit of polish lacking for the Bulldogs. There is Tony Staggs. If he did have some ice on that quadricep, left the field some 50 minutes ago almost now, so we've already had the first round of ice on that quad. Be pretty calm there, and let's hope it is for his sake. Just a minor niggle, and he's good to go in round one. They take on the Roosters, a blockbuster to kick things off on Thursday night, the 6th of March, Allianz Stadium back in Sydney. Jensen playing it, comes back to Madden, puts the kick in here. No change to our halftime scoreline, just going set for set, both these two teams, to begin this second half after the Broncos scored all 3 tries, looking for 10 offloads, 5 line breaks and 5 tries to get the full suite of bonus points should they win the game. And if they do pick up all 15 available, that will confirm them as the pre-season champions.
A lot of changes for the Broncos, but just heard from Jake about Cameron Sorrello's assessment of the Dogs' first half. With the win behind them, Stephen Crichton's still out there for the army kick out. Expect a really strong performance this next 10 minutes from the Dogs.
You would imagine with plenty on the bench, quite obviously, who played last week, many of the backline players, that maybe 10 minutes only in the second half for the likes of Kickow and Crichton. As Taupau puts it down, he got tunnelled though. They went underneath him as he was trying to make the catch. And contact in mid-air there, it will be a Broncos penalty.
Even then, when Matt Burton had the ball in his hands, 5th play, the other side, Cherry and Kickow and Montoya outside him weren't flat. They were a couple of metres back, and that was the reason why Montoya didn't get there and compete on the play, end up giving away the penalty.
Deloise Hoyter out there in the 16 jersey, playing on this right-hand side for the Broncos. He was back there running shotgun as Cobbo and through the air and knocked by Montoya. Corey Jensen back beyond the 40 as Walters comes across here to Taupau, picked out Bailey Hayward there and picked up good meters after contact as well. Here Marty fits in, 35 years of age, in the forward rotation for Michael Maguire and the Broncos early in the season. Walters stepping, finds Madden, worked out nicely for them, and they're back inside the 30. Down the short side once again. Here is Seagull, who puts it high in the air. Tracy coming across. Cobbo was there. Another ball put down by Connor Tracy. Cleaned up by Deloise Hoyter. The Broncos are in again. Second time they've scored in that fashion in the game.
Yeah, you're right. Adam Reynolds scored the first try of this contest after Connor Tracy knocked the ball on in very similar circumstances. Kick goes up here. Connor Tracy should catch this. Yes, there's footsteps coming. Yes, he can feel the pressure, but untouched, he needs to carry that ball to the ground and be safe. There's probably one reason why Blake Taff and Connor Tracy got his start last year is Blake Taff started the year at fullback, but had multiple errors in his game, and Connor Tracy works hard, competes on everything, but he needs to be safe for a fullback if he wants to hold down that spot.
So they grabbed their first try of the game through Adam Reynolds, as you said, when Tracy made the error. And then again, that one. No dramas there as far as anybody putting him off, as there might have been with Stephen Crichton not helping his cause on the first try for the Broncos. And Deloise Hoyter spent the majority of the past 8 seasons playing in the Queensland Cup. Didn't play any NRL at all in 2024. See where he fits in those outside back options again for Michael Maguire. I mean, you look at this Broncos lineup, if they're all healthy, they've got incredible depth. You've got Ezra Mann waiting to come back in round 10 as well. You can see them jumping back right into premiership contention as they were against the Panthers in 2023. The kick is wide from Madden. Scoreline stays at 18 points to nil. 4 tries already, though, for the Broncos.
And Cameron Sorrello said they're not playing Dogs football. Well, I guarantee Dogs football isn't part of giving away a penalty from Montoya on the last play. At the end of that set where the Broncos get it, Connor Tracy coming up with an error. So Sorrello not happy with his team performance in the first half and haven't backed up their coach in the next period after half time. A couple of errors, poor discipline.
The good news is for the Bulldogs, it is, yes, just the pre-season. Got a couple of weeks to get themselves ready for their opening game, and they take on the Dragons. Saturday the 8th of March, 5:30 p.m. as part of Super Saturday, 29th season of Super Saturday on Fox League, beginning very, very soon.
You've been there for every one of them, Warren.
That I have.
Did I say that out loud?
I started when I was 12. Here is Marty Taupau, child prodigy. Here is Walters, comes across on this left-hand side. And Josh Rogers takes it back into Bulldogs territory. Set restart as well, so real pressure now on the Bulldogs. Broncos put on a score in the second half last week against the Titans in Toowoomba. Might be in the mood to do something similar here to the Bulldogs. That would really rock the kennel. Hetherington comes to Madden on this right-hand side. Moran was there. Kickoff still out there as we're now into the 50th minute of this game. He's played all of them. Walters feeds it back to Jensen, who runs to Moran. Kickoff again. Working through that middle third of the field defensively. Last tackle for Brisbane. Comes back to Madden, goes deep. Siegwald stepped away from Burton. He's a live wire, still going. Pops it out the back. Marty Taupau, he got a kick on it. Or maybe he didn't. The ball hitting the deck before Marty got a boot on it, says Todd Smith.
I don't know what it was, but it was ambitions and capabilities mixed up here from the big front rower.
I think he got a piece of that,
I think he got a little piece. The eyes just lit up on the 5th play.
The old no-look kick as well.
Gets him every time.
He was searching for a spot in the in goal as he tried to drop it onto the boot. And the Dogs work it away. Reid Marnie is back out there at dummy half. I'll tell you something about Cameron Serraldo's mood at the moment. Wants to see some combinations here. Haywood remains on the field, drops back into that ball-playing lock-forward role that he filled at times in 2024. Now Sexton puts it up. See if anybody from Brisbane wants to contest this. They don't. They all back away. Tapped forward by Tracy out to Deloise Hoyter, and that was again an unbecoming end to the set of 6 from Canterbury. No real pressure there at all on the Broncos as they work it away through Josiah Karapani. One-time Rabbitoh, second season with the Broncos. Dean Mariner. Both have got some speed. Karapani and Mariner. Hoyter can motor. Walters. Comes here to Dyson Smoothie. He's headed for the UK at the end of this 2025 campaign. So much depth in the number 9 role. Smoothie, a bit of a utility player as well as Hunt plays it. Walters feeds it back to Madden. Hooks it across the field. It will hang there. The breeze in the Broncos face in this second half. Off the hands of Rogers. Back to Madden. And that'll be the changeover.
He was going to kick the ball towards the post, Jock Madden, and then just at the last moment flicked it across his body to try and give his outside jumpers the best opportunity, but the ball broke down. And Stephen Crichton, his time's done this afternoon. What a year he had leading the Dogs last year. The best centre in the game. His impact on the Dogs last year was tremendous. And if they're going to do something similar again and play finals, you imagine Stephen Crichton's performance and leadership has to go to another level in 2025.
Sexton comes out here to Jacob Preston. Crichton didn't really get the opportunities he was looking for in this game. The boys are on the protein shakes already. Pat Carrigan and Payne Haas now they're in cocktail mode on the bench. And now a loose ball cleaned up once again by Hoyter. Things just not happening for the Bulldogs either side of halftime here as Taupau, who's more than a handful, and a carry like that gets a quick play the ball. Now Karapani stepping back in field, and they're off and running. Big charge here. That was Ben Takura, all 107 centimetres off him through Madden on that left edge. Punch it forward, and into Akura out there, just 10 metres out from the line for Brisbane. Last tackle comes to Madden. He'll put a kick in. Here comes Cobbo trying to pick the pocket of Montoya, and he just about did.
Well, Cobbo was calling for a kick infield. He wanted a shorter one so he could get the advantage. And Madden's thrown it out to the wing, so he had to change his arc and his run, and he almost got there. Tell you what, Selwyn Cobbo, I know he's dangerous with ball in hand, but on the last play, if you need an out in the king game of someone like Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds, to put him on the wing and be a target, just another arsenal for the Brisbane Broncos attack.
Well, the Bulldogs hang on again. Fingernail right there. Knocked on the charging Selwyn Cobbo. 18 points to 0. Just the one try in this second half. Matt King back out there now for the Bulldogs as Marnie kicks from inside the 40. Goes down the middle of the park. Trying to hook it back across his body. Picks out Latrell Seagwalt. And he'll play it here about 15 short of the halfway line. Rogers from dummy half. He finds Karapani. Rolling it downfield through Dean Mariner. Got into the game much earlier than anticipated when a little moment with Katoni Staggs and the quadricep injury. Word is very minor. So it is the case. Smooth ball coming out here. Put down by Hoyter. They lost their way there. Madden, sort of a no-looker, and he had the arms out saying, well, which one of you wanted to catch that? And as it turned out, it went to ground. Not a great ball.
Well, something was building, and yes, the error was the pass from Madden, but if that's on the chest of Hoyter, I think Broncos are tearing down this right flank and probably scoring.
Here are the boys, the Dolphins, warming up. There'll be Farnworth there, ready for action. Jake Ivarillo as well. There's some talk about Hamiso Tabuai Fido being linked to the move back to the North Queensland Cowboys. The Hammer came out and said that is definitely not happening. He tried to put that to bed very, very quickly. I was surprised with that rumour. Hit the airwaves a couple of days ago.
Very surprised that Christian Wolf obviously taken over after Wayne Bennett.
He might have needed smelling salts off the back of that news, Christian Wolf. Now Sexton on the inside here for Preston. Good tackle there. Piakura levelled him. Here's Haywood. Comes through Sexton. Oh, Burton under pressure there from Cobbo, who's in 25 metres from his wing position to take him down, and I think he'd rather liked it as well. Sexton. Turn it out the back for Hayes, who will just take it down towards the 20. Good defensive set by the Broncos. Sexton out the back. Tracy looking to make amends for the errors under the high balls. Luke Smith wrapped up there, and the Broncos keep this sheet clean.
Yep, 18-0. Good defensive effort here. This is the first one here on the left-hand side, and then watch Selwyn Cobbo. When Selwyn Cobbo decides to go to the contest, whether with or without the ball, he makes an impact. And Michael Maguire would love to see that from Selwyn Cobbo.
The sold-out crowd enjoying the action, and that set a couple of big hits for the young Broncos. One a forward, well, another one's as big as a forward, isn't he? Selwyn Cobbo, giant on the right wing for Brisbane. Walters at dummy half off the Jensen play the ball. Speaking of giants, here he is.
Reed Marnie.
Ben Takura picked out Reed Marnie. Been well behaved today, Reed. No niggle. No getting up in the face of anybody. Madden runs a long way on the last. Comes to Tracy. Looks in, looks out, looks in again, and then wishes he'd passed to somebody because, yes, Selwyn was there again. Matt Burton resented the tackle.
Did you hear the effects then? Selwyn Cobbo, left shoulder straight into the sternum of Connor Tracy. Skips across. Get that, India.
Well, he finished it off as well with interest. Tracy went to ground. Now a chance out wide. Smith was almost away. Grabbed by the bootlaces there by Josh Rogers. Preston runs a long way out of dummy half. Goes straight through them. Runs to Seagwalt. Turns him inside out. Jacob Preston. That's how the Bulldogs find some points here today. Nothing doing. Give me the ball. take them on. See you later.
It's just been wrapping up the defence of the Brisbane Broncos. One from Piakura and a couple from Selwyn Cobbo. But this is lazy tackling through the middle third of the field. Nothing going on here. Preston straight from dummy half. Gets through some poor defence. And even here, one-on-one with a fullback. The back rower goes past the Brisbane Broncos defenders with ease. And with a bit of a spluttering attack here this afternoon from the Bulldogs, Jacob Preston's done it all by himself.
60 metres, no less, from dummy half. A moment for Jacob Preston. Well, they love him at the Bulldogs. We mentioned earlier on the injuries, situations he had in 2024. Broken jaw early in the first half of the season. Ankle injury in the second half as well. And he just left them in his wake there. Put the turbos on. And even the live wire, Latrell Siegwald, couldn't go with him. So they've got some points, 20 minutes remaining. And as both teams get through their reserves here today, wonderful supply of reserves for both the Broncos and the Bulldogs. Burton adds 2 points and makes it 18 points to 6. An hour gone. Down to you, Jake.
Jacob Preston provides a lone highlight for the Bulldogs so far this afternoon. As you mentioned, Warren, plenty of injuries last year, limited to just 18 games. Still managed to cross for 6 tries, but he would love to get back to some of the form we saw from his rookie season in 2023, where he also took out the Bulldogs Player of the Year awards, showing a bit of it there with a turn of pace to beat young Siegwald. So good signs for the Bulldogs there at the end of this one. Not a bit of concern for the Broncos. Michael Maguire said his team is playing hungry at half-time. He won't be happy with that defensive effort there.
Well, the first time of the game they have clocked off, and it cost them 6 points. So the restart down to Montoya, who just takes them on, turned the shoulder there as Jaden Hunt came towards him. And off the back of that, look at Marcelo's reaction. He was so good doing exactly that with the Warriors, especially in 2024. And he's earned his side some free meters here. Takes on the big boys, bounces off them. Tries to get back to his feet quickly, knocked to the ground again there by Smoothie, and off the back of it, the Bulldogs have points and now field position that brings at their backs. And only 12 points behind, an age to go in this contest. King off the right foot, runs towards Jensen. Also there was Jaden Hunt over the top. Haywood, first receiver, did well, awkward pass to handle. Preston working off Sexton. They're back inside the red zone. Marnie counting numbers. Looking left. That's where Sexton is. Burton out the back. Goes to Josh Curran. Runs into a dead end there. They just trailed across, working to the right, the Broncos, and wrapped him up. 4 plays gone from Marnie. Here's Haywood. Sexton now tries to grab it. Took it right to the line. It's still there. Play on the call for the moment. Jacob Preston plants it down, and
he's got to have a look to see
Smith
if Toby Sexton knocks on the ground.
Says
if
no
he doesn't
try.
knock on, there's a Bulldog held back, but I think the knock-on comes first, mate.
Very clunky from the Dogs, but also from the Brisbane Broncos defence. Normally when the ball bounces around like this, see if he knocks it on to start with.
Right side kick chase is cleared as onside.
Just ascertain whether Sexton got a boot on the ball, or has he done a Marty Taupau?
I think it's this one here.
Looking at Toby Sexton to see if he knocks the ball
Second
on
shot
the
at trying to
ground.
get the ball. There.
Had a crack at it, and if he's touched it, he certainly has knocked it on. Still not convinced he got the boot on the ball to begin with, did he?
Toby Sexton knocks the ball on the ground.
There it is.
Decision made.
That'll do it. So no second try for Jacob Preston. With almost 62 minutes gone, it remains at 18 points to 6.
And Toby Sexton after that has gone off the field, and on jersey number 20, Joseph O'Neill, young halfback, who was pretty good last week when the Dogs played. He gets his opportunity as Cameron Sorrello starts rotating his bench players in.
Tracy back on the bench, likewise Stephen Crichton, who's telling secrets there. Doesn't want the cameras to pick up whatever he's saying to Connor Tracy. Boy, they are paranoid, aren't they? Week 3 of the pre-season challenge, and trade secrets being whispered along the Bulldogs line. Pass it on. Here is Jensen now coming off the field. Ventukura remains out there. Who's as big as 2 players? And Jock Madden taps it and goes. And runs all the way to Blake Taff. Still doing his impersonation of Billy Idol in the fullback role this week, as he was last week against the Tigers. Barking the orders from the back. There's Taupau. Takes it down here to almost a 30. And the Broncos conceded try, almost another one. Bunker says no to the Bulldogs, and now they can set the record straight here, opening up the lead once again to Cura. Bounces off the shoulder of King to Kurt Mann, who's back out there, seeing plenty of game time today. Walters, Grubbers, and Grubbers, well, Taff is there, saves the day.
A great passage of play there from the Brisbane Broncos. The reason why they got this good ball possession as Billy Walters kicks the ball through. That's just a heads-up play from Madden. The quick tap and go, runs almost 40 metres untouched. Gets the ball in the attacking end, and they come up with a repeat set.
I imagine Burton is going short here. The breeze at their backs won't help his cause. And it blows it all the way down there, where Karapani flies high and comes down with it. Tough. You've got the strong breeze at your back like that to bring it down somewhere between the 10 and the 20. Taupau, lots of touches, as he did last week in that big win against the Titans. To Cura now, but he just winds up. Looks very fit to begin this 2025 campaign as well. After getting a taste of first grade in the pre-season challenge last year. Play it there through Dean Mariner. Nothing doing in the tackle. And now Taupau will switch out the back from Smoothie. Cura comes to Seawald, who not anything doing as well on his right-hand side. Kurt Mann got a knock on the beat. Walters, Grubbers again, still there. The cleaned up eventually. Jaden Hunt got a hand to it. But I fancy if there was a second kick by Walters, he was offside.
Any potential accidental offside on the way through, mate.
Yeah, a lot to check here. Put a very effective kick in from dummy half to get the repeat set. This time Billy Walters goes short side.
Broncos right side kick chaser cleared as onside.
Doesn't get the purchase to start with that he likes. And then just bounces around. Bit to look at.
There's a second kick from the Brisbane player. Jaden Hunt is in front of the kicker.
Touches his foot in an offside position,
And
accidentally
then interferes
offside.
with play. Decision made.
It will be the Bulldogs who come up with possession. Well, no dice there for Jock Madden. He goes back to the bench very quickly and has some ice on that hamstring. And tipping that's just a precaution as well.
More than 60 minutes in, and Reid Marnie and Matt Burton still out in the field for the Dogs. So Sorrelli wants to see more from a few of his senior players.
There's Bronson Sherry. Stop him 20 short of the halfway line as Sam Hughes is back out there, charging hard. They got up in his face very quickly. Deloise Hoyter was there, so was Marty Taupau, who was man. Feeds it on for Max King. As Taff was up there pushing up in support. Difference still, just the 12 points, 15.5 minutes remaining. Walk across the halfway line here. And play it there as Joseph O'Neill, the halfback. Game time last week against the Tigers as well. Now Mark. But puts it in the air. Seawald back there in the fullback role. Swan got a chance to try and tap it backwards there. And it's been knocked on by the Broncos, so the Bulldogs will hang on to it.
Better way to kick there from Matt Burton. Just Bit of pressure there. Gets the ball back. Has a challenge.
Captain's challenge from
There we
Brisbane.
go.
On-field ruling is knock on Brisbane, then Bulldogs. Brisbane are challenging.
Ratu Rinakama out there.
I think that's what they're looking at here. The Brisbane Broncos. Rinakama's come through, and has he taken
Bulldogs kick chase is cleared as onside.
Sigwell out?
Scored 2 tries last week, did Rinakama in that win at Cogra against the Tigers.
It's a clean run to the ball by all players.
He's got plenty of speed, and he gets to the contest easily. Did he touch it there before Sigwell? That's anybody's guess.
It's a knock back by the Bulldogs player, then the Bronco player knocks the ball on. And then the Bulldogs player knocks the ball on. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
And they'll do away with that one as far as the Broncos are concerned for the remainder of this game. The Bulldogs still have their captain's challenge available. Just inside 15 remaining. If they can score here, then it's very much game on.
See what the Bulldogs can do here. Centre field scrum. Dare say that they're going to swing around to the right-hand side and try and create numbers here.
Here is Burton bringing Taff with him. He's out the back. 2-1-1. It worked. An absolute treat. Ratu Rinakama there to finish it off as well. 3 tries now for the young winger in the pre-season challenge. And very quickly, the Bulldogs have given themselves an opportunity.
I thought they were going to go right, but they came left and still had the 4-on-3 shape. A good movement here of Matt Burton. Good line run there from Bronson Cherry. That held up the Broncos' defence. And just good skill, but that is a great scrum play. Manipulated the 4-on-3, good execution, and Rinakama scores.
Billy Walters out there defending in the back line. Coaches really mix things up as far as their defensive alignments are concerned. In the modern game, sometimes you query that given the speed coming at them, because they're certainly not putting middle third defenders out on the edge. Walters at the moment playing with Madden off the field now, playing in the halves, but just not the speed there. They go with Burton, who has this kick, trying to bend it back. It'll stay outside the upright. 8 points is the difference, but still 13 remaining here in KO Stadium. And we saw the Dolphins warming up a moment ago. Titans looking to bounce back after a very disappointing first up effort last week, where plenty of their mainstream stars played in that clash against the Broncos in Toowoomba. David Fafita, one of them. See how he fares here against the Dolphins. There's Hasler looking for a response from his team after they lost their first 6 games in 2024. They got it going eventually, but for most of that season they were missing Tino Fa'asuamala-Awi. The big boy is back.
Big Tino is in peak condition according to Kieran 4-2, so looking forward to seeing the Titans skip it back.
That game is next, right here on Fox League. The big doubleheader coming from KO Stadium in Redcliffe. Broncos on top of the Bulldogs here. Dolphins and Titans is next. Only just hanging on to it there was Rinakama, but now through the middle, Blake Taff. Unmissable in that shock of peroxide hair. Kurt Mann takes it to the line. Some support there with Joseph O'Neill, but decides to hang on to it. Last play. O'Neill will put the kick in. Down there, backing away. Comes down towards Marin. Steps away from one. And will be wrapped up just outside his own line. In fact, that was Isaiah Karapani. They put it down, giving it straight back to the Bulldogs. Yes. I think he said non-fungible token, Latrell Sigwald. Here's Curry. Inside the 10. Marty Taupau wrestling with him here. Former Warrior going close. Marty flat to the middle. Kurt Mann skipping back to the left. Fends away from Marty. Curran goes one shot away. A chance once again. Rinakama denied. Grabbed 2 last week. That close to being a 2-man, 2-try scorer here again tonight. Burton finds man, set restart for the slowness of the play the ball. Taff through Moran. They keep it going. Wilson diving and scoring for the Bulldogs. They're finishing fast and still plenty of time on the clock.
Yeah, sideline to sideline, it was the strength of the Bulldogs' attack last year. And here it is again. I like the fact that Matt Burton, this is the lead-up work. Kurt Mann shrugging off, the big pass over the top. Runakama goes very, very close. And the slow play of the ball allows the Dogs to set up a big, expansive play. And once they get the ball here to Blake Taff, they've got a bit of space. Good execution, good passing. Blake Wilson does the rest.
Long right-hand side set up. Everybody knew their role. Man, the link man, the play prior, and then this one as well. Moran out there doing a nice job. The centre's role, just shifting it on very quickly to Blake Wilson. The plants are down. We've got 10 remaining, 18-14. Thrilling finish coming up.
You called it. Curtis Moran did a very good job because sort of a middle edge forward out in the centres. Sometimes they can overplay the hand, not pass the ball exactly the right time. Wilson had the run, and Curtis Moran just dished it off nicely to him.
Now the kick from Burton. This one swings away to the right-hand side, so a couple of conversions which could have levelled the game. They both miss. Stays at 18-14. Cameron Serraldo throwing plenty of his first-team players out there again to finish this game, and Matt Burton still out there on the left-hand side. O'Neill on the right-hand side. That's a great finish by Blake Wilson as well.
Yeah, the centimetres that Blake Wilson needed to get that ball down. There's a lot of the good work that happened inside, and when you're passing the ball from sideline to sideline, the execution of those passes have to be spot on, otherwise the defence will just eat it up.
He missed the last half-dozen games of the season last year, Blake Wilson, with a fracture to the ankle. He's been working in the New South Wales Cup team towards the back end of the season. Didn't reappear for the finals appearance against the Sea Eagles. Now take it forward, and a ball put down here. They've got themselves a mistake. Cassius Tia, this giant utility back, has put it down. They're going to challenge. They've still got their captain's challenge up their sleeves, but it looked like a pretty obvious knock-on.
Yeah, Cassius Tia had some nice touches last week. Set up a try, kicked a 40-20, so he's a sort of a back row build, but playing in the halves.
Looking at all available angles.
Looking at the contact there. Jack Gashevsky comes in. If he's made contact with the head or the jaw,
there's no intent
there
to strip from the Broncos player. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, they might have got away with one there for something they weren't appealing for. They were looking for a strip there from the Broncos. Instead, there might have been potentially a bit of contact over the top from Gashevsky.
No, I think it was all right. Cassius Tia more moved backwards as opposed to the Broncos players raking at the ball.
Heads in, let's go.
So first touch. And the flowing locks puts it down, and the Broncos can just steady the ship here, get through a set, and give themselves a repeat set or add more points. It's Mariner who will play it. 30 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Smoothing. Taupau into the ground quickly there. Wanted to quick play the ball. They hang on to him. Hayes did a good job. Walters, a chance. Rogers, stopped by Taff, flips it away, and Mariner scores. They do hit back. A costly mistake by the Bulldogs, and a yardage sets off the back of points, and the Broncos respond to once again open up the lead.
Yeah, well, Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds will be the halves for the Broncos this year. And watch the combination here of Billy Walters and Josh Rogers. Good connection, very nice and direct ball playing from Billy Walters. Creates a bit of space for Rogers to do his thing, and he runs through and sets up the try. Look at the Broncos on paper when they started this game. They're absolutely stacked. And then you go through when the players on the interchange bench come on. Outside backs, they got depth. through the halves they've got depth. So Michael Maguire's got a good roster and everything stays fit. Their gun players will be influential, but if they do get injuries like Adam Reynolds did at different stages last year, there's been signs that there's Madden, Corey Pakes, Billy Walters, they could all step in and do a job.
They've got so much talent, they might need a top 30. They might be looking for a top 40, the Broncos, to be able to have them all available. Various stages of the season. They've got talent to burn every part of the field. Nice and smoothing with the conversion attempt. Adds 2 more points. And they push it out again to a handy buffer right here at 24 points to 14.
A strong break there by Josh Rogers, and he finds Dean Mariner to finish it off. And it's an interesting one, Dean Mariner, to see him on the extended bench. The decision to pick a development list player in Shibasaki has certainly raised a few eyebrows up in Queensland. Dean Mariner was obviously their leading try scorer last year, 17 tries in 21 games. But as Michael Maguire said before the game, that if you've trained hard, you will be in his side and get a crack. So obviously he's liking what he's seen from Shibasaki, and Dean Mariner looks like he's out of the starting side, but this side pretty much expected to be what the Broncos roll out in round 1.
And to your point, one with the depth, maybe there's chances that other clubs can start picking some of that Broncos depth at different stages. Someone like Mariner, if he doesn't get a start, he's definitely first-grade material.
Yeah, they're out rolling down the field. 14 tries in 13 games on the wing last year. Marty might have got away with a roll ball there potentially, and then moved into the centres to fill in for Selwyn Cobbo, where he finished out the season. Scored just the 3 tries in 7 games, did Mariner in that centre role. Piakura playing it from Smoothie. Here's Rogers, who's a big half. Taff flying, tap backwards there by Hunt. Scramble on the ground. Billy Walters thinks there was a knock on by the Bulldogs. Referee says no, knock on Broncos. Play on here for Canterbury, but they're in trouble because they're searching off the line now like missiles. He's in all sorts of trouble there. Nakama, who looked up and saw a big Marty Taupau, 35 years of age, and has been a bodybuilder his entire career.
I guess off the back of this performance before round 1, as Joseph O'Neill goes for one. If there's anything to pick out here when the Dogs play the Dragons, I dare say Shane Flanagan is going to kick the ball hard to the fullbacks because they've struggled this afternoon, both Taff and Connor Tracy.
Selwyn Cobbo back in the fullback role at the moment, and again a strong carry. Boy, that's been a real feature of his play. Both his decisions to jam and come up with good, clean hits. He rattled Matt Burton earlier in this half, and his carries from his own end as well. A lot to like about Selwyn Cobbo, who's quite obviously had some mental health issues in recent times and hasn't been comfortable playing out a full season. See how he fares in 2025, but boy, what a strike weapon he is.
Doesn't matter if you're a fullback at 5'8" or a front row. When you've got an aggressive mindset, everything else just seems to fall into place. And when Selwyn's like that, he's a game breaker.
So Walters puts it high in the air. Nakama puts it down off the legs there of Taff back to the winger. He played at it, so that will be offside.
Yeah, it was initially back, but then it touches Blake and he's offside.
Had their problems today under the high ball, haven't they, the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think Shane Flanagan just took another note to his halves when they play in week 1. Put the ball up and put them under pressure. Imagine Rinikama won't be there for the Dogs, but kind of Tracy's had his issue. Blake Taff hasn't come down with it.
Krzyzewski playing it. Midfield, deep on the attack. Taupau, so many carries. Looking for another try here, the Broncos. And for all their bonus points, as far as the preseason challenge is concerned, they might have got one right here. Big Ben Kakura, he plants it down. Just unstoppable from close range. They've got their bonus points as far as the tries are concerned. It comes down to the offloads. They're a long way from getting 10 right there, line break. So make that their 5th of the game. So they'll get a couple of bonus points at least. And they put themselves in the box seat to take out the pre-season challenge.
And the front rowers partnering up here. Smoothie a dummy half, trying to sell a lie, disguise his play. He was always coming back to the big man. For a big man to get that low and use that power. Blake Taft's there, Max King's there. Oh. Jeez, I don't know if he gets there actually.
He didn't get there with the first put down, and then eventually I think the ball ended up on the line because it was all in the one motion, and we'll get the green lights.
How tall is he again, Warren?
Here, 207 centimetres.
He could do that from about 10 metres out and still be a chance of scoring. He's a big man.
210, just over, is 7 feet.
I need a trampoline and a step ladder to get anywhere near that.
And a rope to scale up the side of Mount Takura. Scores a try. Boy's been hard to stop. Looks so big and fit. Has he got a chance in the 17 to begin the season? And they take on, as we said earlier, the Roosters Thursday night. Allianz Stadium. Should be a big crowd there for that one. We'll see the Roosters in action in their final hit out in the pre-season tomorrow up there at Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. They'll take on the Newcastle Knights. Both teams looking for a win after being a bit disappointing last week in their opening games. The ball comes free here for Marty Taupau.
The tackle is complete.
Todd Smith is going to say it's a knock-on.
It's a strong tackle when he loses it.
You heard from the referee himself. Marty not happy, but they don't have their challenge available, having burnt that earlier on. So the Bulldogs, 16 points in arrears now, as Marty's pretty animated out there as well, having a fair bit to say.
Well, Warren, remember when the Dogs scored a try a few moments ago? This is exactly the same setup. Burton and Taff at the back of the scrum. Just got to pick which side they're going to run here and try and create an extra man.
Here they are, same side. They go left once again. Well, Burton hangs on to it there. That's interesting, given how you burnt them on that exact same play not that long ago. They've run it once again. Maybe he thought they were all heading out to the extremities, and he cut back on the inside and scored himself. Gets a chance here at first receiver again. Goes to Curran. The Broncos have plenty of jerseys there in front of him. Billy Walters is the main tackler, although they dropped off and Curran just about got there. They feed it back from Tia, from Haywood, and Burton sliding out to the right edge. O'Neill, good tackle. Working hard, Brendan Piakura. He hits with the best of them. Kurt Mann. Warren overrun it there, had to stop. Now he's still going, Kurt Mann. Well, somebody hit the pause button, then they found play, and Kurt Mann was off and scoring. No try is the call, because they're going to bring it back to look at the obstruction.
Well, this is going to be very interesting, because Kurt Mann does stop. He doesn't run around the back, and most players will just submit in a tackle. It gets a bit clunky here. Kurt Mann wants to go out to the left-hand side and realises that his outside run overruns it and stops. Now, most players here submit in the tackle. Kurt Mann doesn't, and runs through and ends up scoring.
Just looking at the actions from Curtis.
Who are the Broncos players just stop? It's been an interesting call from the bunker.
Well,
I think they'll set the rules and say it'll be a no try, but it doesn't say that he has to submit the tackle.
I mean, he eventually goes, he crosses the line.
The Bulldog player runs behind his own man. Decision made.
And that's basically all you need to know.
Yeah.
He eventually cuts back to the left-hand side, and while there wasn't a hole created by Moran, because Gashevsky just stood there and they had three players in front of Mann, but he just went around the back of him. It's an old-fashioned shepherd.
Yeah.
It's the one word I wish they hadn't gotten rid of from the rule book, just shepherd. You know what a shepherd looks like? Instruction brings in all sorts of connotations. If you just say that was a shepherd, you go, yep, it certainly was. So there they are on 29 points. For and against, they go ahead of the Dragons, who had that win in the Charity Shield earlier this afternoon up in Mudgee. Oh, now there's a problem back behind the play. Gashevsky left on the ground here, and some concern from Josh Curran. Boy, you see he's not in a well way here is Gashevsky. Here he is taking it forward, right into the shoulder of Josh Curran. Ball coming free. No doubt about the contact there from Curran, who showed in a very sportsmanlike fashion concern there, having made the contact, but he knew that Krzyzewski had been a bit rattled for that. He's got an immediate mouse there under the right eye. Always concerns you when you see an obvious bruise and a bit of swelling as quickly as that off the back of contact.
And with this result this afternoon for the Brisbane Broncos, it's now down to the Broncos or the Dolphins, who are the pre-season challenge champions. Interesting game coming up next, the Dolphins versus the Titans.
Josh. Okay, because it's now a Category 1 HIA, okay, you're in the sin bin.
And that's that reinterpretation of situations like that in 2025, where because Krzyzewski goes to the sin bin and there was high contact, rather to the HIA, it's Category 1, he's deemed straight away. And so a Category 1 in that situation will have the player, even if that Category 1 comes minutes down the track, that player who was the transgressor there, who made the high tackle, will come from the field in the sin bin.
Do you like it?
There's going to be some drama during the year, there's no question about that. It's, you know, we thrive on controversy in rugby league, and we'll get plenty of it again this season. Now Rogers, Kura out there, loitering on the left-hand side. Fair away from the middle of the field. Slow play the ball here as they eventually give it to Mariner. Jensen playing it. There's Takura running hard. Boy, down low. And that was a game attempt made by Joseph O'Neill to stop him. And now from Rogers to Walters, short ball. Jaden Hunt taken down. Only a couple of metres out. Burton here has a problem.
And Sorrello has kept him on the field for this entire game. And with less than a minute to go.
Across here, and then...
Oh, man, it was just collision there with Blake Taff.
Oh, a bit of friendly fire. Despite the peroxide, the head's no softer. Just gets one right there in the snoz. Boy, they smart. Well, I wore one from our terrier the other day. Went down to give him a pat. He jumped up at the same time. I was crying, Coop.
Didn't need a HIA assessment.
I gave him 10 in the sin bin, though.
Category 1.
Penalty for the Bulldogs, as they want to get on with things here. 30-14. Was flying out of the stadium was Latrell Sigwald, who's now out on this right-hand side with Selwyn Cobbo in the fullback role. A kick across the field from O'Neill. They go straight down to Josiah Karapani, though, as the siren sounds. The Broncos, 2 wins in the pre-season. It might be enough with the bonus points. They picked up today 2 of them to claim the pre-season challenge in 2025 at full-time at KO Stadium. They've taken down the Bulldogs 30 points to 14.